What's going on, my people? Coming right back at you again. It don't stop, can't stop, and it won't stop. You know, this poem I'm finna share with y'all. I started having a lot of questions. I started to wonder about a lot of things that we don't have answers to. Back when I was in high school, I would say about really as early as elementary school, to keep it real with you. I had questions that, my mom couldn't answer and stuff like that. We know the basics, we know what we read from the word, and we believe that, you know what I mean? I don't have no issues with that. But then it's like other things, that we wonder about. There's so many mysteries, there's so many things that I don't feel to be answered until, we get to talk to God one day. So it's a lot of questions, and a lot of things that, people are just going to wonder about, if you got a mind like mine. And this is a poem I wrote back in high school, probably either 10th or 11th grade. And I only remember a few lines from the poem. So I took those few lines, just like a couple of other poems I did. I took them few lines and I just added, how I feel now. I added, well, not really how I feel now, but questions. I still got some of these questions, but I had to flip it, and put it, in the way that I would put it today, now that I'm older. But y'all check this out. This is a poem. I think I call this poem, Sometimes I Feel Like a Small Toy. I think I call this poem that. Sometimes I feel like a small toy. Y'all check this out. Sometimes I feel like a small toy in a game that started when Satan wanted God's power and fame. Is it really Adam and Eve we blame? What about the serpent in the garden? What was his name? Would things remain the same if the serpent never came? Sometimes I don't see his goal, his aim, when certain day-to-day things seem so useless and lame. Our bodies, such a delicate, fragile frame, so easy for death to claim. In a world no man can tame, in every direction lies fire and flame. Evil everywhere we go, rain, sleet, or snow. But why was this evil allowed to grow? Everybody I ask says, I don't know. A little brother could be influenced by his big bro. A killer can be raised by killers and wind up on death row. But how could the most beautiful angel stoop so low? And I can't believe this started so long ago. I can't believe it was God he tried to overthrow. I can't believe he convinced a third of the angels to go. I can't believe they put on such a show. I can't believe they tried to play God like tic-tac-toe. You were raised by a God who is only holy. How could you turn against him so boldly? If you always followed him so closely and praised him in ceremony, how could your heart become so stony and your ways become so phony? The Antichrist, the unholy, our enemy who follows us slowly and attacks the lost and lonely. If he knows he will lose, why continue? Maybe he just wants souls from the human menu, adding as many as he can to hell's barbecue. Is this really what free will can do? I ask questions, but people don't have a clue. I have blessings and memories of God's love for me, but how do I get a person who's less fortunate to see, especially if all they ever saw was misery? Prayers up for those in need of victory, and maybe one day God will reveal all his mysteries. Y'all have a blessed night, and think on that one for a minute, because I'm sure we all got some questions, about mysteries, and unexplained things that we'll probably never learn on this side of life. He might show us a few, but we might not see the rest to the other side. But y'all just have a blessed one and sleep on that one.